Welcome to my crafting corner where I craft different things. I'll learn a little, you'll learn a little, and we may or may not have fun. Let's get started. Today and tomorrow and the next day, we're gonna be trying to do some tie-dye. This is something I've never done before, and I'm really excited to do it. I'm transforming my photo/art studio to my garage, and there's a huge plywood background that's really ugly, and I kind of wanted to cover it up. So I was like, what better way than to make something? So I decided to make something tie-dye. So I'm making a huge tie-dye tapestry. I got the tapestry in the mail. It's plain white. I'm really excited to open it. The last piece that I needed to completely start my tie-dye thing, I can't remember how big it was. I think it was like 100 by 90 inches, so it's really big. This is kind of like an unboxing, but that's not what this is about. All right, so this is just 100% cotton. I got it off Etsy.com. I can't remember who I got it from, but you can literally just look up white plain tapestry and it'll come up. But yeah, it's really, really big. Holy crap. Oh, it's even got little loops to hang when I'm all done. Oh, it's huge. So it's really big. Obviously, one of the most important things that you're gonna need for tie-dyeing is some type of fabric to tie-dye. This is what I'm choosing for my very first tie-dye project, a huge tapestry. I don't know why, but whatever, we're gonna see how it turns out. So I've gathered everything that I need, at least from the research and everything that I've done. And the first thing I need to do tonight is pre-soak this in what's called soda ash. So this is my soda ash mixture, and I wrote all over it so nobody drinks it, because that would be terrible. And so what you do is, I got soda ash off of Amazon. Most of the stuff I got off of Amazon. The only thing I didn't get off of Amazon was a couple things, and I'll let you know where I got those. The soda ash was off of Amazon. We just have this gallon jug sitting around empty, and I took 1 cup of soda ash, put it in this with hot water, but I only filled it like halfway so I could mix it. The research that I was doing, looking up all kinds of things and Googling, I was wondering, why do you want to soak it in soda ash? And I found out that soda ash is actually soda carbonate, and it produces a higher pH, which activates the cotton to react to the dye well, so you get brighter, more vibrant colors. And I really wanted this to turn out well, and soda ash wasn't that expensive, and it was really easy to make. So it was one of those, why not, if I'm gonna do it, go big or go home. You need to do it quickly, because if you don't, the soda ash will harden at the bottom and you won't be able to mix it, and it'll just be a big rock. So I went outside, because soda ash is actually toxic, so you don't want to breathe it in. So I went outside and I measured everything really quickly. I poured it in, shook it up, and it was good to go. This, however, doesn't expire. It stays good forever, from at least what I've been told. And you want to just make sure there's no like residue or little clumps at the bottom, and it's fully mixed. I have 5 different colored dyes that I'm using. I'm using pink, like a really pretty blue, green, purple, and I have 2 things of black. I got all of these off of Amazon. I'm using the tulip kind. Come on, focus, there we go. I'm using this brand because it's got really good reviews. I bought these all separately. They were between like $4 and $7 a piece, just depending on what color you needed. But they do sell kits, and it's just powdered dye. So when I'm ready, it's got a little bit of powder in the bottom of it, and you just add water to it, shake, and pour. And then these, I didn't pre-do these because these are only good for a few hours or something like that, is what I see. So to tie up our fabric, also off of Amazon, I got wax string, and this is, I mean, you can get this at your local craft store, or I mean, you could probably even get it at the dollar store, but I got it off of Amazon because I already had a bunch of stuff coming on Amazon anyways. And then I also have some rubber bands that actually came with the tulip dies just in case I needed them. And they're just, you know, nice rubber bands. They also came with gloves. Each one of them come with their own set of gloves. But I was not a fan of the gloves because they're like this really crappy plastic. So because of all my crafting stuff, I just had vinyl gloves sitting around. And there's no powder, so it's powderless vinyl gloves, no latex crap. Oops, sorry. And then last but not least, I got a few of these big boys. These are those pans for like rotisserie chickens and stuff like that. So I can, one, soak my fabric, which I'm looking at it and wondering if this is even big enough. And then I got a couple more so I can actually dye it. So let's get to it. All right, so the first step is to soak it in the soda ash. So I have my pan ready, I have my mixed soda ash, I have my gloves on, and the fabric. Oh man, this is so bad. Remember the whole may or may not be fun thing? All right, let's try this. And you want to make sure, like, you squeeze and all kinds of other stuff. I also should probably have a bigger workspace than what I have, but you work with what you got. I ain't got much. Yeah, I probably should have changed my outfit because I really don't know if soda ash can affect your clothes or not. Yeah, I'm just squeezing it in, slowly pouring it on, squeezing the fabric, moving it around, hoping that it doesn't, I don't know, hoping that it does fit, I should say, but we'll see. Uh-oh, what is that? Why does it look like there's, do you see that? It looks like there's like blue dye on my finger. I don't know. Oh man, this is gonna be bad. Alright, pouring a lot. So soak through, go to the bottom of the pan, and soak up. So it's gonna be completely soaked through. I might actually use this entire gallon. I thought I was gonna have some left over. But if you do have some left over, you can store it. Just do what I did and label the crap out of it so nobody, you know, drinks any of it. You know, put do not drink, soda ash mixture, blah, 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 blah. Because I'm sure if it's toxic to breathe, it's toxic to drink. Too fast. All right, that was a lot. This is gonna be really hard to make sure everything is covered. This is also gonna be really hard when I go to fold this thing. So this is gonna have to sit in this soda ash. I'm letting it sit until tomorrow morning. They say between like 6 and 24 hours is what I Googled. So I'll have it in there for like, I don't know, 12 or 15, something like that. What is that? Uh-oh. I don't know what that is. I think it's just a piece of lint. But, so I have to let this soak overnight, so I won't be back for a while, but it'll be like seconds for you guys, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I think I'm gonna try and just use all of this so it's actually, I wanna get this completely saturated. If you don't get it completely saturated, the sodium carbonate will not activate all the fabric. See how, I don't know if you guys can see it or not. See how there's parts of this that are wet and parts that aren't. So if I were to dye this like this, this part that's dry wouldn't be as vibrant as this part that's wet. So you wanna make sure this entire thing is completely saturated in this. Otherwise, I mean, it could turn out cool, but if you don't know what you're doing like me, then I would just try and get the entire thing as saturated as you can. I probably should have done this like in my kitchen sink, but I honestly didn't think that this was gonna be a problem. So we're just gonna stay right here and we're gonna hope for the best. Oh my gosh, this is so heavy now. Let's see, oops. I probably should have washed this fabric beforehand. Wash your fabric beforehand and then do this. I have heard that and I did not do that because I just now remembered. Yeah. So far I'm not seeing any dry spots. It's all completely saturated. I think I am gonna take a piece of fabric though, of clothes that I don't really care about, and I'm gonna dip it in this and let it sit and see if it does anything, just so you guys know if the soda ash will like bleach your clothes. It won't bleach, it's not a bleach, but if it has any effect on your clothes. So yeah, this is completely saturated. Oh my gosh, I did it. I completely saturated it. So like I said, I'll see you all in the morning, but it'll be in like 0.3 seconds for y'all. So it's the next morning. It's probably been a few seconds, but it's been, I don't know, 13, 14 hours for me. I'm very excited to do this. It's like Christmas morning right now for me. So what you want to do with the soaked fabric, if you have a washer that has the capability of just spinning and not rinsing, that's the best way to wring this out. But since mine is a rinse and spin only, I have to wring it out by hand. And you want to try and get as much of the soda ash mixture out, just so the color, you need space for that color to soak in. Let's get this wrung out. Let's start making folds, let's start tying, and let's start out. So I did actually put a piece of fabric into the soda ash last night, and I dipped this end. And I noticed that the whole thing is now wet, but I only dipped this end. But it didn't do any fading at all. Like, still super vibrant. I did notice when I cleaned up the area around it with just a towel, it smelled so bad. If you've ever worked with latex and you let it sit for a long time, it smells like rotten latex. It smelled really gross. So I definitely advise, which I hate saying this, to use paper towels. I try to be eco-friendly as possible, but when it comes to cleaning up your soda ash, I recommend using paper towels so it doesn't stink. But it won't really do anything to your clothes because this is a black sock. The pink is still really vibrant. This doesn't look any different than what I did last night when I dipped it, and it's still a little wet. And so this has been, I guess, completely saturated now. But let's get this bad boy wrung out, okay? Now I have a bunch of these containers because I knew I was gonna need a few. So what I'm gonna do is I just kind of overlaid this together so there isn't as much drippage in the middle. And I'm just gonna wring and wring over as much as I can. Like I said, you wanna wring it out as much as possible. And if you have the capability of like a spin cycle on your, or in your washer, I recommend doing that. I recommend it because it's what others recommend. I'm not 100% sure exactly what I'm supposed to do with this soda ash mixture left over because I guess you could save it. I have watched a video where somebody poured it into a container and they saved it because it doesn't expire, so you can keep keep it for a really long time. I think I'm just gonna pour this guy in the toilet. I'm gonna Google really quick, see if there's any special way you need to dispose of this liquid. Another thing that you're actually gonna need that I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video is a washable marker. We're actually gonna be drawing on the tapestry so we know where to make our folds. Some of these folds can be pretty intricate, so I'm a little nervous about them. The first two are pretty easy. So for the first two, it's too big to kind of show you, and I don't feel like going outside because it's really cold and I don't really have a clean space to do it. So I'm gonna show you with this piece of paper. So the first fold that you're gonna do is like this. So long ways, fold right down the middle, okay? And then you wanna make sure it's as flat as it can be because there's gonna be a lot of different wrinkles. And then you wanna fold that in half, okay? Those are our first two folds, super simple, super easy. That's what I'm gonna work on right now with this. Wish me luck with this small space. I don't know what I got myself into. This thing is huge. It doesn't even fit on this table. It's got a ton over here and a ton on the edge. All right, so if you're doing this yourself and you're possibly following this video for some reason, start out small because this thing's huge, like enormous. Anyways, I folded it like I did that piece of paper, and now I can see why they say to wash it, because there's like, well, some of this I'm sure is from the table. There's like glitter and stuff, but they say to flatten it out as much as possible. You want to try and get rid of any bumps, which right now there's a lot, because just getting this thing, the one fold was hard enough. Okay, and then I was like, all right, that's not too bad. And then I folded it a second time and nothing was matching up. And I realized that I needed to go back to, like, I don't know, first grade to learn how to fold. Get this more flattened, because apparently it's not. So the way I have this laying right now is like this, okay? So I have the folded end right here, the other folded end is on this side, and then the unfolded ends are over here and back here, okay? So what you wanna do is you're gonna take your first two top layers and you're gonna fold them like that. So it lines up perfectly with this edge, okay? And that's what I'm gonna do with this. And then you want to fold the other side so they match, okay? This is gonna be difficult because this thing's way bigger than that piece of paper. So for this next fold, it's just, we're gonna take the corner, this is the folded edges, and then we're gonna take these two pieces and we're gonna fold them up like so, kind of like a paper airplane. Woo! Let's see how that works out. As you can see right here, these aren't matching up and I'm not starting over. So this is how this looks right now, okay? So for this next part, we're going to flip this over and we're going to bring this part like this, okay? So it's kind of like a airplane, kind of. Sorry. Sorry for the weird angle and possibly resolution change. I did have to zoom in a little bit and have a weird angle because I don't want this to hang over the edge of the table because I don't want it to get any more creases than I might already have. So the pattern starts off with kind of like a zigzag. You want to use, this is why you want to use a washable marker, so when you wash it, it washes out and you don't have weird lines in your tapestry. Tie this bad boy up. So here I have my string, and I didn't make a line here, but you do want, I'll make a line so you guys can visualize it. You do want to tie up just a straight line right across from the get-go to start your tie and to make it easier. So, and then what you do is when you tie it, you literally just follow the pattern with the string and tie it as so. That's how heavy this thing is. Woo! Get that baby tight! And then if you are a frequent tie-dyer or if you've tie-dyed before, let me know how I'm doing in the comments. Tell me the truth. Tell me what I need to fix so people can read and, you know, not make my mistakes, because we're all learning. We just keep on doing the same thing. We're just going to fold this guy up, make sure the line that we have stays aligned, just like so. And you get to like, this one's going to be really hard because it's curved, and we have to keep that like a straight line. So that's going to be the hardest one of these to do. This one seems like it might be the easiest just because there's not as much fabric going on, but we'll see. I say that now, I'm only halfway there. So that was our last little part of the pattern that we were actually following, and for the rest of it, you kind of just scrunch up, and this is where those rubber bands will come in handy, because I mean, you work with the folds, so you kind of want to, you know, get these folds in here as well that are already kind of happening from all this stuff. But like, if you want to make like a swirl, if you want to do it like this, you can. Or what I think I'm going to do is keep these folds right here. So I'm going to grab my rubber bands, and I'm going to kind of keep these guys so it stays like this. but I want to kind of take this part and scrunch it. That's what I want this effect to be. Okay, so I have everything set up. I do have this rack. It's like a rotisserie rack that I found in my kitchen, just so it's not sitting in the dye, because you want the dye to like kind of, you know, let gravity take its course and kind of go through the fabric. And because this thing is so big, I have to have 2 of these. So I'll work on this and, you know, squirt the colors. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the colors. I know that this is the color pattern that I want. I'm going to do the green, blue, black, pink, purple, black, and then, you know, continue that pattern. So it's 2 colors black, 2 colors black. All right, so we're going to start with green. And we're going to start with this very, very little tiny tip. So I'm not going to need to use much. And for these, there's a line at the very top of this. I don't focus because it's so zoomed in. But there's a line at the very top of these bottles, and it even says, fill the lime with water and shake until dissolved. So I did the kind of same thing that I did with the soda ash. I filled it kind of halfway, maybe 3/4, and shook it really good, and then filled the rest of it up, because it just, you can shake it a lot better because there's not as much water in there. All right, so we're gonna start out with this green. We're just gonna kind of dip it in there, okay? And then go straight to blue, and we're just gonna, so when you flip this, you'll notice that you can kind of see, obviously, what colors were where, so you can easily, you know, get the right colors where it needs to be. And some of it, like this green and blue, I don't even need to worry about because it's so saturated, because it's so small, it's already colored. But this pink, it still needs a little bit, so we're gonna put some more pink on there. And then same thing, you don't want to see any of that white anywhere, just completely saturate it. So yeah, I have to let this out for the 24 hours, and get a bunch of it's all over my hands. Kind of. I mean, those gloves did a pretty good job, but you can see it's, you know. Do I really have to do that to my own hand? Oh my gosh, it's on my hands. So letting this set for the next 24 hours. It's actually gonna be a little bit more than 24 hours because I do have to work tomorrow. So, and I don't get off till late. So once again, what will seem like a few seconds for you guys will be an eternity for me. It's been 24 hours since I put this dye on this tapestry, and I'm really excited to see how it turned out. It still looks super vibrant, but once I completely get this untied, you wash it as regular and dry it, and then I'll have some pictures at the end of the video what it looks like after it's washed and dried. I do want to apologize for the length of this video. I really didn't think that it would be this long, but there's a lot of details into tie-dyeing. So if you look up other tie-dye things, they're usually separated, and this is all one lump sum, start to finish tie-dye tutorial, I guess. I mean, it's the first time I've ever done it, so I can't really say it's a tutorial, but I guess it kind of is. But I do apologize if you did stick through this entire video thus far. We're closing in on like 30 to 35 minutes from what I've edited so far. So good for you for listening to me me for some reason. And if you've skipped through some things, I don't blame you, it's totally fine. As long as you've seen what I've created and learned something, that's all that matters to me. So I'm gonna start unraveling this, and some of it's really tight. So I got my gloves on because it's still, you know, well, maybe not. I don't know. And I got scissors to cut the string. You'll obviously want to be really careful when you're cutting the string to not cut your fabric. Let's get to it! I didn't want to sit here and completely unravel the entire thing because that takes a really long time, and this video is already super long. So I'm gonna start unfolding this. You guys. I'm gonna completely unfold this and hang it up so you guys can get the full effect. I think this might have actually turned out really cool. So this thing turned out pretty awesome, and you can see how huge it is. Now, I did something wrong. So see how there's like a star effect there, and then like the other half is on the bottom? That's supposed to be in the middle, but I really like how it actually turned out. Thank you all so much for watching, especially if you stuck it out to the very, very end, because this is a really long video. But I really do love the way that this turned out. I was a little skeptical. I knew the folding process was funky and it's very detailed, and I did it wrong. But I still really like the results of it, so I'm not mad about it. I'm still gonna use that tapestry. Now the real test is washing it, drying it, and seeing if those colors stay vibrant. With that soda ash, it's supposed to. But like I said, I'll post some pictures at the very end of this video so you guys can see what the complete end result will be. But give this video a like. If you tried this and followed this tutorial, leave a picture of what your outcome was. And like I said before, if you got any tips and tricks for anybody else that may be following this, or for me in the future, please leave a comment. As always, thanks for joining into Marie's Crafting Corner. Hope you guys learned something new, because I know I did. Peace!
Wherever I am, you'll always be more than just a man.